Hi, here's ZAPY Speaking. We are back with the other video. What are we talking about in these 2 weeks? Let's think, what is the historical thing that really happened in our history? And that is a president that's being impeached, not once, but twice. We do not know when next time this is gonna happen. So we have to comment on this event, not because it's a happy thing, it's so rare and it shows so many sides of our society. Every time when there's a big event, there's always a speech go with it because they neither solve what's going on in the current moment or try to inspire people or try to make a change. Or you just want to get a laugh out of this stress situation. So today we'll look at another scenario. Someone who speak and to make fun of this stressful situation to relax the general public. And let's turn the camera to Aaron here and he will tell us what we will be showing about these two impeachment of a US president.
All right, we are going to see two parts of two videos. So we're going to get 30 seconds of two different videos here of Jimmy Kimmel and James Corden, essentially reporting the same thing, reporting on the impeachment, and we want to see who delivers it better. We're not going to so much focus on the content of what they say because it's very similar. We're going to focus on the way they say it. And let's see, to put it bluntly, who does it better. We're going to start with Kimmel, Jimmy Kimmel, and the lovely green screen because my computer's weird.
First U.S. president to be impeached twice. I wonder if he's tired of all the winning yet. Whatever they've said and done to support him in the past, I do want to commend those Republicans in the House who voted to hold Trump accountable. That's a real act of courage and should be treated as such. It's not just a political risk. These Trump nuts will come to their house. But the rest of them, it's always a surprise to see how crazy some of our elected officials are. And that was fully on display today as they supported their sad orange man.
Okay. So, Jonathan and I were talking about this before, and Jimmy Kimmel seems tired in this to me. Like his body language, his voice, they all seem tired, which can be a useful tool in speaking because if you want to get a point across that like this is done, like when I work with kids, if I want to show them that I'm done with a certain behavior, I act tired. I say, guys, come on, we got to start behaving a little better, right? And it can get through to someone. The challenge is it often sucks out a lot of the delivery skills. Like his hands were in his, you can't tell if they're in his pockets, but they look like they're in his pockets. He's got that same hands in his pockets. His shoulders are kind of slumped a little bit. His face doesn't say what he's feeling. And I'm just kind of analyzing the picture that I'm seeing beside me. His face doesn't say what he's feeling. His voice doesn't say what he's feeling. He seems tired. And if the goal is to get across to us how absurd, painful, and ridiculous it is, that could work. But he does lose out on a certain amount of delivery when he does that.
Yeah, so my feeling, how I describe it is like the pop, but it's flat when you put it outside for too long. And the whole thing is just flat. That come across through multiple aspects of this speech. One, as Aaron briefly touched on, is the hands. The hand is, it looks like it's in the pocket. If that is the case, public speaking 101, don't put the hand inside your pocket, pull it out, make them do something. Even just make a box. People make fun of it. Even make a box is better than put in the pocket. So that's one of the body language, just it barely change. The only thing changes is his face. The second thing that's barely changed is his tone. He just flat. So when I just close my eyes and listen to these sound clips, there is no up and down as I like to describe as mountains and valleys when a speaker do the delivery. It was gone. But it can be, as I would like to give Jimmy Kimmel the benefit of the doubt because I know he is a competent speaker. It can be intentional. And why I think so is because his dress code. He dressed literally just a shirt, don't even tag in. So look at Aaron and me here. Aaron today went to a very important workshop. He has a nice shirt, tag in, and tie on. I work from home most of the time now as a scientist, so I just have a showdown for my video conferencing. So it could be a thought plan to have this casual dress to go with a casual tone as well as a bit flatter delivery. But I don't think that's the best way to do so, because let's face it, when was the last time a president is impeached twice? And I don't think they're going to come in anytime soon. I hope that won't happen soon, or who knows. So speaker of which, we can turn the camera around to our next speaker maybe, if Aaron don't have something want to add.
I do want to add one tiny thing before we move on, and that's just a little addendum to this idea that you should never put your hands in your pockets. I agree, but I think there's exceptions. And that's when it serves a purpose. And that's something I like to hammer home, is that if something serves a purpose, like does acting tired serve a purpose? In this case, I don't know if it does. It doesn't seem like he does serve a purpose. I think he is just legitimately tired of talking about this topic, so he's lost enthusiasm. But I don't want to say you can't do something or anything really. Right. You have to be aware of the purpose it serves. So that's something to keep in mind with speaking. Either way, we'll move on. I just wanted to add that little touch. Yeah. All right, the green screen again, let's do it.
Remember what he was impeached for the first time? Is it Russia? Something to do with Russia?
Ukraine.
Right, that's it. 2 impeachments. 2 impeachments. And just like Trump's sons, the second one is the most embarrassing. Unlike the first time around, even some Republicans voted today for Trump's impeachment. At one point, Colorado Republican Ken...
It doesn't matter. Okay, so one thing, like, we see a very different delivery style here. There's more energy in his voice in this one. He speaks with a lot more energy. That comes from a bit of pitch and a bit of speed, right? So when I speak like this, even if I'm saying the exact same stuff, I sound way more excited, as opposed to when I speak like this, where I have lower pitch, lower speed. If I say the exact same stuff, I sound way less excited, right? So he does seem more excited in general because of the pitch of his voice. A couple other things that he does. One, this is kind of unfair because there are clearly other people in this room, and I don't know if there were in the room that Jimmy Kimmel was in, but he speaks to multiple people. He interacts with the space around him. So there's something you can do in speaking, which is using your space to your advantage, right? An example would be, I have a wall right here. So if I was trying to show some desperation, I might do something. If I'm trying to show that I'm trying to hold on for something, I can use that wall to my advantage, right? In this case, what James Corden is doing is he's using his space to his advantage, right? He's looking at other people in the room. He's got a wide open space, so he can kind of look around and make it seem like he's interacting with things. And it makes it feel like a much more engaging talk because it makes everything feel more interactive. He's interacting with other people, and that change creates interest, right? And not only that, we also have camera changes, which does help with engaging interest, but even any kind of change does. So when we look at something else, when we move in a different way, it creates a different kind of interest. He's using his hands, he's leaning in, he's leaning back. These are more variations. This is creating more interest. It could be considered less real or serious because it's not as direct, but I think it's more engaging. So once again, it depends on the intent, the goal, and the reason. If Jimmy Kimmel's intent, goal, and reason is to seem serious and tired and hammer home how ridiculous this is, he chose the right style to do it, but it's not going to create the most engaging talk, whereas it seems like James Corden's goal is to create the most engaging presentation, even if it won't get across necessarily the gravity of the situation.
That is very possible. It can be the two shows want to come across points, right? Jimmy Kimmel can be saying, okay, that is a serious situation. We are all sick and tired of it. So his body language and his tone match that. Whereas James Corden here, you can look at his funky tie. Who wear a black suit jacket and white shirt and with a flowery tie? So he's, from that clothing dressing, it looks like he tried to make a light of this situation. So that shows in the delivery here is a nice pause with making fun of the second impeachment, that change of tones and matching with the laughter they staged in. So yes, in his situation, he takes the advantage of the room for people. And you can also, again, relate back to the main topic of what do you want the audience to feel. because at the end of the day, people will forget what word you say exactly. And then you say something really smart or really crazy or super stupid. Most of the time, if you're in the middle zone, the words will fade away, but people remember always is how you make them feel. So it could be the two should want to give you a different feeling, but from my preference, I would like to symbol engagement because yes, it's a very heavy situation. But if you don't answer, you don't deliver the right emphasis on the right phrase, then people probably don't grab, okay, what is going on here? Or maybe most people know what the second impeachment means pretty bad. You get fired before you get fired. That's how I see it. So it's literally, he only has 1 week now, he said. Joe Biden will be taking over January 22nd or something like those.
The 20th is the inauguration, I think, is technical.
20th, okay.
So
it's like a one week before he's finished his job and people want to get his fired. So that's
it does.
Yeah, you're so bad at the job. I want to fire you before you are fired.
That's so mean. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I do tend to agree that the tones of the shows are very different, right? Intended or not, it is the way they dress, the way they act. It is very different, and it sets a very different message. I would be very curious to talk to the people who planned those things, like the people, and see kind of what was their plan? What were they trying to achieve with the decisions they made?
I would imagine at that level of television, especially people can see internationally, they should have some planning. I would guess, I would hope they do this with intention, not just like, oh, Jimmy Kimmel coming today, feel boring. Then let's just do the delivery. That would be a big disappointment, but how to know the truth, at a higher level stuff. So.
Well, I'm so sure that there must be a lot of planning that goes into the appearance, the appeal, and the way they present themselves, right? Because to be honest, if I can do it, they definitely can, right? If I think about the way I want to present myself when I give a speech, so I know when I compete in a contest, I wear nice clothes, right?
Yeah.
Nicer clothes than I normally wear, right? Because I want to make that good impression. I want to be like, hey, look at me, I'm doing stuff, I'm awesome, right? So you want to make a good impression, and I'm sure. Or if I'm trying to get a message across that's something serious or not serious, I do dress accordingly. So I would think that they do the same thing.
So really the key message here is to be consistent with the whole package of the speech, the content, the tones of your voice, how you deliver it, even towards the dress code and the body language.
Yeah, and I would argue on top of that, or in concert with that, not just be consistent, but be intentional, right? So when you make a decision in a speech, are you putting your hands in your pockets for a reason? Are you looking directly at the camera and delivering without emotion for a reason, right? Make sure there's a reason behind the decision you make. If there's a good reason behind it, you're going to make a better decision. So intentionality is super important. And to me, I enjoyed James Corden's more. I thought his was better, but it depends on the intent. If the intent of Jimmy Kimmel is to be serious, get to the point, get this over with, his was as effective at achieving its goal.
Yeah, we definitely get it. We definitely get a difference, and we're kind of speculating the reason behind. So in this way, I would say that both effective could be with a different goal in mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Well, with that said, be intentional in your speaking. Thank you very much. And of course, stay fishy.
Here's ZAPY Speaking. Until we see you next time.